So, like a lot of you, I would be lying if I told you that I never judged a book by its cover, because I judge books by their covers a lot of the times. And that is actually one of the reasons why I bought a handful of books. So I'm going to share those with you because I think it's going to be super fun to kind of see what books I have on my TBR just because I loved their covers. So without further ado, let's just jump into this. Okay, my first one I am actually currently reading, but I don't care. I don't care what it was about. It's so pretty. Like, look at that. My Roommate is a Vampire by Mila+Ains is such a super cute book. I love how it's like old school. It's like the 50s. I love that it's like this side is dark for the vampire, this side is light for her, and just has those colors that just go so well. So this one actually follows Cassie, and she is an artist. She's struggling. She's going to be evicted from her house. So she gets a very cheap apartment room that she rents, and she is super excited about that cheapness. So she's actually roommated with Frederick, and Frederick is this super sweet guy. He's super strange. He sleeps all day and is out on work all night. But he leaves these little notes for her and asks her about her day and really cares about her art. And she actually starts to just kind of fall for him secretly. And then she finds blood in their refrigerator. So she confronts him, and Frederick tells her that he is a vampire and he has a proposition for her. This one is just so cute. Like, I can't get over this cover. I think that's just one of my favorites. Another one that kind of has that same vibes of like the 1950s, maybe more like the 70s or the 80s. I don't know. But I can't get over this cover. This is Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. This one I absolutely loved the cover as well. Plus it has this little statement by Allie Hazelwood. And you know me, I love Allie Hazelwood. So I just picked it up. I was like, this is a great title. This is a great cover. Absolutely loving it. And this one actually follows Phoebe. She is a true crime obsessee. And then something tragic happens. She has to go back to her hometown to, I believe, Florida. Yes, Florida, and clean out her childhood home. She takes her brother, and they actually have a new neighbor. And his name is Sam. And he is super low-key. He's kind of charming. She thinks that maybe he could be a serial killer. But she is going to clean out this house. She's going to kind of get to know him while she's kind of having a feel for him and see if he really is a serial killer. And then they start to spend time together, and he kind of seems like a nice, genuine guy, which she could be more afraid of than a serial killer. That one is going to be super good. I cannot wait to get that one off my TBR. Another one I picked up is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. So this one, I just loved the cover too as well. It's just so simple, but it's just so eye-grabbing. And this one follows Florence. She is a ghostwriter for one of the most prolific romance authors in the industry, but she's kind of going through a rut after a horrible breakup, and she can't kind of get into the love romance kind of feel. And her editor actually will not give her an extension. So she's kind of feels like maybe this is the end of her career, and this author is going to get a new ghostwriter. And then she actually receives a phone call that is telling her father actually passed away. So this is 10 years after she's been home. She hasn't been home in 10 years. She ran away from the town because it never understood her as a person. And now she's back in her parents' funeral parlor. And she's just trying to kind of get this done and over with, and she sees a very handsome, tall man that looks very familiar in the doorway. And she doesn't understand why he's there. He doesn't understand why he's there, but he is a ghost, and they are going to kind of work together to figure out what is holding him in this world. And as they do this journey together and they try to get him to cross over, she actually kind of gets her spark back and sees kind of what love really is again. I just can't wait to read that one. Another one I think is so cute that I thought was cute, but I thought this, okay, I'll tell you in a minute. So this one is Someone Just Like You by Meredith Score. So this one follows Molly and Jude, and Molly and Jude should have been best friends with how close their families are, but they found out long ago that that is just not going to happen. He thinks that she is allergic to fun. She thinks that he is just this too charming slacker so they just grew up pranking each other instead, until a prank in high school actually gets taken too far and they actually just stop talking to each other altogether. And now that they're all grown up, they have to throw a party for their parents. So they have to team together to party plan. So they just take it as the war is back on and they start pranking each other. But while they're pranking each other and doing these little jabs at each other, spending time with each other, they start to realize that maybe they are friends, and they're actually starting to have this sexual tension between them. And it makes complete sense for why they have sexual tension, because Molly is dating Jude's lookalike and Jude is dating Molly's doppelganger. This one just sounds so good. Like, I bought this book because I thought it was cute. I thought that it was the same girl. I thought it was the same boy. I thought it was just the same dog, but different colors. I thought that it was the same couple on this thing, or on this cover, until I got home and I read it and I fell in love with it even more. Like the synopsis of a lookalike and a doppelganger, even though they're enemies, like I just can't get over that. I cannot wait to just jump right into that book. A book that I've actually already read. I read this last fall or a couple falls ago. I think it was a couple falls ago. This one is The Bake Shop at Pumpkin and Spice. This one is 3 different authors. This has Donna Cuffman, Kate Angel, and Allison Charles. This has 3 stories to it. All 3 stories follows this cute little town. Oh, what's it called? Moonbright. And their favorite holiday is Halloween. They have this huge Halloween festival with parade and all the good jazz. So this one follows 3 different stories, 3 different romances, all centering around a bake shop called Bella Luna's, where the treats are simply magical. You eat them and you find your true love. This one is so good. I did not think that I would like a book that has 3 different stories. Not necessarily that I didn't think I would enjoy it, but I didn't think that they would blend so well together with 3 different authors. And these 3 stories blended so seamlessly well. They were so different and unique, but still so beautiful. And they followed this Bella Luna bake shop's like magic perfectly. I loved that book. The Sweet Spot I actually bought because it has a cute little baby picture, has a cute little puppy. It just looked adorable. This one is by Amy Popel. I thought this was just so gorgeous. I could not get this cover out of my head for the longest time, and that's why it went on so many of my TBRs. This one follows 1 divorce, 1 social media disaster, 1 random baby, and 3 unlikely friends. Welcome to the Sweet Spot. This one is 3 women in different stages of their lives going on, and then they are left a baby on their doorstep, and they have to kind of navigate all of their lives around this new baby being in their house and them equally trying to take care of this baby. This book is said to be a very beautiful celebration of modern families and how we are all blended together, but that doesn't like change the fact that we are all family. I think this one's going to be so cute, and I still cannot get that book cover out of my head. The Nanny by Lana Ferguson is a book that I just thought was going to be a super cute little rom-com. Like, I just liked how they were standing, how they were. I figured that she was a nanny, and I figured he was probably the father of the picture, which they are. And I just thought it looked so, so cute. And I've read a lot of other books that have like that nanny perspective, so I thought I would really, really enjoy this. But just like the Someone Just Like You, this actually has its own little funny quirk to it. So this one actually follows Cassie, and she is unemployed. She's being evicted. She has two options. She can either get a job or she can reopen her OnlyFans account. And I have never heard a book or seen another book do a story based around an OnlyFans account. Like, that just seems so, so intriguing to me. So she doesn't really want to open her OnlyFans account, so she actually gets a job as a nanny by a single dad. He is an executive chef named Aiden, and it seems like such a great, fun job. She absolutely adores his child, but being under the same roof as him might be a little harder than she thought because she is very attracted to him. And a little bit in, she actually realizes that Aiden once was very, very familiar with her OnlyFans account, but he has not figured it out that it is actually her that he used to watch. So she doesn't know if she should tell him or keep this secret to herself. And as they get closer together, she's more and more terrified that this secret coming out will actually destroy the only chance that she's had at happiness in a really long time. I think that's going to just be so, so good. The Treachery of Beautiful Things by Ruth Francis Long is another one of those books that I just thought was absolutely gorgeous. I had no idea what this book was going to be about, but it's actually a fantasy. I did not know. I thought that it might be a romance just because of how pretty it is and kind of like regal, but no, it is a fantasy. It says, something moved amid the trees, floating like a dream. Something made the leaves and bark, roots and branch, but not. Tom, she whispered. At the sound of her voice, it turned, twisting around on itself, quicker like a cat, to peer at her with very bright eyes. Leaves and thorns tangled where hair should have been. Bark and moss made up the body, and every part of it was composed of living things, the elements of the forest and the trees. It lurched forward, heading straight for the tree lines and for her. So this one, it sounds so, so good. It sounds so beautiful. This one actually follows Jenny, and her brother was swallowed whole by the trees. So they're walking home. She sees that her brother is taken by the trees, and everybody kind of just thinks she's crazy. And she's kind of just lured back into these trees to say goodbye to her brother years later, and she actually gets kind of swallowed by this fairyland also. So she's looking for her brother. She's having this whole new experience in the fairyland or the fairy world, and it's just such a beautiful, amazing photo or cover. This is just beautiful. The Feeling of Falling in Love by Mason Dever by Mason Dever is another one that I just loved the cover of. I think it's so comical. I think it's so like cartoony and cute. Like it's like a real person, but then it's like fake flames. So I just thought that was so adorable. And I just bought it because I really wanted to. I don't know. I just had to. But this one actually follows Neil, and he is set to attend his brother's wedding all across the country with his childhood friend / friends with benefits, Josh. But Josh says that he loves Neil, and that kind of scares Neil away because he is not in love with Josh. He hasn't been in love with anybody. So Neil has to find a new date to this wedding, and he has to do it really quick. So he forces his horrible roommate Wyatt to come along with him and attend this wedding. But Wyatt thinks that Neil is just being a jerk about the whole thing until he gets to LA and actually experiences Neil's family with him side by side and starts to kind of think otherwise. And then they start spending this time together at this wedding. They start kind of understanding each other a little more. Wyatt is understanding Neil's perspective. Neil is understanding that Wyatt maybe isn't that horrible of a person. And maybe they can actually fall in love with each other until all hell breaks loose and something bad happens. I don't know what happens, but I'm so intrigued to find out. I love this cover. I cannot get enough of it. I think that I would buy it for someone just to see their reaction to that cover. Starry Eyes by Jen Bennett is such a pretty cover. So Jen Bennett, I actually heard that Jen Bennett was a really, really good contemporary romance author. So I went ahead, looked up her books, found this one and Alex approximately, and I just bought both of them because I loved the covers of them so much. I thought that they would definitely be something that I'd be into, and I thought it would be perfect for like summer and into like the beginning of fall. I thought it was so, so gorgeous, and I had already heard really wonderful things about Jen Bennett and never had read her books, so I went ahead and picked it up. So this one actually follows Zori and Lennon, and ever since homecoming last year, they went from best friends to best enemies very, very quickly. And it doesn't hurt that their families are mortal enemies, so it's really easy for them to dislike each other and just try to avoid each other altogether until a camping trip with a group of their friends goes horribly wrong and they find themselves completely stranded in the wilderness by themselves. So they have to depend on each other and kind of go on this journey through the woods and try to make it to the other end alive. And they have these super cute moments where they're under the stars and they have their campfire and they can talk about things. And then they have other moments where they're just trying to battle wilderness and actually survive. This one is going to be really good for people who like the wilderness and like romance and are super into enemies to lovers and second chance and best friends to lovers. This gives you so many tropes, like so many. So I don't know. So after I got the American Royals, I got really into books about royals. So when this came out and I saw it, I had to get it. Like, that is just such a gorgeous cover. I thought it was just so beautiful. This one is Karina Hale's The Royals Next Door. And I just thought it was so funny. It's like she's spying on them, and that's kind of exactly what she does. So this one follows Piper, and she lives on this small island community that hasn't actually accepted her into their community yet. She's an elementary school teacher. She's a romance book reader. She's a secret podcaster at night, and she avoids her ex-boyfriend, who actually is the bartender there in town. But she takes care of her mentally ill mother, so she is just kind of stuck. So the Royals actually rent the house next door to her mother's house. So she starts spying on them, and she starts spying on their sexy bodyguard Harrison, who she bumps into quite often in town, and she just is left more confused than ever every single time she bumps into him, but she is super attracted to him. So then she is swept into this royal scandal, and she actually has to fake date Harrison to kind of put it all behind her. So they start fake dating, and she keeps finding herself needing protected by Harrison, but she wants to be able to protect herself as well from whatever it is that is kind of putting a harm to her and her engagement with the royal family. This one just sounds so good. I can't wait to jump into it. I love the books about royal families and like the drama that comes with them, because there's always drama that comes with royal families and royal books. Our last one, so sad, is Georgie All Along. And this one is by Kate Claiborne. This book, I don't know, for a book girl, like that cover is just to die for. Like it's so simple, it's so elegant, it's so like bold. I just absolutely love it. So this follows Georgie, and she is a personal assistant because she is so good at putting other people before herself over and over and over again. But something happens and sends her back home, where she actually has to confront her own wants and her own dreams, and that just seems like a blank page for her. But she finds a diary that she wrote that is full of possibilities, and she decides that she is going to just start checking off these things and seeing if something sticks. So she actually gets her unexpected roommate Levi, who was the town bad boy when they were in high school, to now town hermit, to actually help her with this wish list. They start making their journey through this wish list, and they start to decide that maybe what's in this diary actually isn't what she wants after all, and maybe what she wants is right there in front of her. I love this. Like, it's just so cute. Like, the cover matches the synopsis, and I hope it matches the vibes of this book so well. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed kind of getting a quick peek into what kind of books I gravitate towards versus cover-wise. And I hope you guys share yours. Like, I love that. I absolutely love shopping by the covers. It doesn't help my wallet, but sometimes you just get something unexpected and it turns into one of your favorite books ever. So don't always go by what other people recommend or what you've seen other places like TikTok and Instagram. Just kind of explore and see what catches your eyes, and maybe you'll get a diamond in the rough. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to share more with you. Bye!